What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And, well, there isn't actually an Arsenal game this weekend, so I thought the countdown would be beginning, but we don't actually play until next Tuesday, being as that we're out the FA Cup, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. At least football is back this week, and it's not international football. So something to watch, but still a little bit disappointing that Arsenal aren't in the FA Cup, you know, as it's something that definitely means a lot to Arsenal. But big up to everyone, been off for a couple of days, hope you are well. But we're here now. Was I late today? Yeah, 2 minutes. Not good enough. It's an absolute disgrace, people. But big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Get in the comments. Just feed the algorithm, people. You need the algorithm feeding. Big up to everyone locked in, man. Hope you are well. Big up Curtis. Followed you from day. Big respect for how far you've come, bro. Keep at it. Hey, man, I appreciate that. And we've got some upgrades coming as well on the channel. So look out. We're going to change things slightly on here. So yeah, I'm thinking about coming away from the green screen, but we'll see. We will see. Like always, nearly. Yeah, nearly on time. Not always there, but I'm always... No, not always on time. Definitely not, you know. Not always. Sometimes you got to fall back and re-energize. You know what it is, bro? Like I always say, I don't like to force content, man. But we're, you know, as the weekend approaches and as the game starts on Tuesday. I just realized, by the way, that Arsenal's game on Tuesday isn't on TV in the UK. So it'll be VPN settings, man. That's the problem, because we're now falling out of the title race. We're not going to be on TV as much, because they're like, well, what's the point showing that game? They ain't fighting for nothing anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. What did you think of the tier list? What's that? Yeah, I just realized that. What's going on there? Is that a little shine on the hat? I don't know what's going on there. What did you think of the tier list? The tier list caused a lot of controversy, didn't it? The tier list caused a lot of controversy, man. It was, no, listen, it's opinions, man. It was good content. It was good content. I suppose if you didn't get on the list where you wanted to be, then maybe you wouldn't be too happy with it, you know. But it was good, man. International break, not a lot to talk about. It was good content, man. The game is the game. Football, as I always say, people, football is a game of opinions, whether that's playing football, coaching football, speaking about football. Everything is about opinions. It's all opinions, people, you know. The only thing I would say when you're doing a tier list, if you are doing a tier list, I think you have to remove emotion. I think you've got to remove emotion, and it's got to be based on quality rather than your personal feeling towards somebody. And I would say a little bit of that list had emotion in it, you know. So if I was doing a tier list, I think you've got to remove emotion. So what I mean by that is, even if you don't like somebody, if they're very good, you've got to give them their props, you know. That's what I would say. But nah, it is what it is, man. Big up to them guys. It was good content for sure. Big up Rastamau said, Uncle Curtis, your Hulk Hogan shirt rip alone should have you on goated. I mean, I'm more disappointed that I'm being called Unks, but I'll embrace it. Big up your damn self, people. I don't think I'll ever live that down, will I? You know, I don't think I'll ever live that down, but I embrace it. It felt right. It felt right. That shirt needed ripping at the time, people. Listen, big up to everybody locked in. Let's start off by saying a big congratulations to Arsenal women. You know what? Maybe I have to change this channel. We'll cover the women's team, because they seem to, you know, they get it. They get it. 2-0 down from the first leg against Real Madrid, and they beat them 3-0 last night at the Emirates to knock them out. There was a lot of complaints after the first leg, people saying that the pitch wasn't good enough. I think they played on the training ground and it was really bobbly. They brought them back, played at the Emirates, smashed them up, 3-0, job done. Champions League semi-final. I think they're playing Lyon in the semi-final. So well done to Arsenal women on winning that game. I actually didn't see the game. Was it on TV? I never saw it. I don't know what happened. I didn't even realise that game was on last night, and then I couldn't find it on TV. So I didn't even watch it. I saw the highlights, saw the goals, and the stadium looked packed as well, to be fair. So big them up, man. Oh, it was on YouTube. Should have figured that one out, really, shouldn't I, to be honest. But yeah. Apparently it was on TNT as well. I couldn't find it. But listen, big up to them. Champions League semi-final. Can the men's team take some sort of inspiration? The problem that I've always had with this Real Madrid tie was that the second leg is at the Bernabeu. And that was always the problem. You know, I think with the women's team, bringing them back to the Emirates always gave them a chance. Nora said, I really enjoyed the international break for once in my life. I'll be honest with you, I felt like I needed it. I'll be totally honest with you. I think Arsenal, this season for Arsenal has been quite flat, would be my description as an Arsenal fan this season. I think the season has been quite flat. I think we've all... Because once you have expectation, it creates pressure. You feel more let down when something doesn't happen when you expect it to happen. So the year Arsenal finished second when they were 8 points clear, we thought if we can get top 4, it'll be great. We end up in a title race. So even though you finish second and you're disappointed, you're going, okay, I can still be very positive about that. I think this season, because we were like third year trying to win it, we expected something to happen this season. I expected, as a bare minimum, Arsenal to lift silverware this season. Even if that was a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. Now, I'm not saying that would have completely fixed the problems or solved everything. But it would have given us at least belief that we're on our way to those bigger prizes. And the fact that we haven't reached a final, unless we get to a Champions League final, which feels unlikely, although it's not impossible, that for me is the biggest disappointment about this season. And I'll be honest, the thing that has made me, why I was looking forward to the international break is because I don't have a lot of enthusiasm for the rest of the Premier League games this season. I really don't. The only thing keeping me motivated as an Arsenal fan at the moment is the Real Madrid games. That is it. Real Madrid home and away is keeping this season alive. If we were not in the Champions League, the season would be pretty much done. Jamaica did win. They beat St. Vincent to qualify for the Gold Cup. So, yeah. I don't think they picked a full squad for it. But, yeah, they got the job done. Yo, I saw Cecil meeting Will Smith. That's legendary business. Mike Lowry. That's legendary. Big Steve, afternoon, Curtis in the community. Just want to say thank you for helping me get through this busy period whilst I was probation. I had a meeting with my manager and I passed with flying colours. Big up your damn self. Well done to you, bro. And well done. And I appreciate you keeping us tuned in as well. Celebrate your achievements in the comments, people. Big up Magic Trades. Yes, Curtis tuning in from Perth, Australia. Hope you are well. Could do with some of that weather right now, bro. It's grey and a little bit cold here. You know, but big up from Australia, man. Your subscribers can fill up the new camp. Elite Curtis, come on. It's crazy when you put it into context like that, innit? Because sometimes you just see numbers on a screen. You never actually think how many people it is. But you could, yeah, we could fill up the Emirates. We could fill up the new camp. We out here. Let me get into these couple of super chats, then we'll start the show. I've waffled long enough. Forever a gunner. Actually, it's good that we have the first leg at home, because if we got cooked in the first leg, what's the point of the second? Well, that's the flip side of it, and you're spot on with that. If you go to the Bernabeu and they batter you, the second leg has very little around it, where I feel we will go to the Bernabeu with something to play for. I don't think Real Madrid will batter Arsenal in that first leg. They might beat us. If they do, I think it will be close. The away leg, that's where things get a little bit techie, I think. But we've got to go to Spain with a lead, in my opinion. And Rastamal said, Uncle Curtis, if Arsenal men do what Real Madrid women did and bottle a 2-0 lead, would you be vexed, or is what it is? Everything is... No, I'd be vexed. Let's not play it down. If we were 2-0 up going into that second leg and got done 3-0, I'd be fuming. I don't care who it is. But it can happen. The Bernabeu is different to probably any other stadium in the world. There's something about Real Madrid that is totally different to any other team in world football. I've got a video coming out regarding the Trent situation and giving my thoughts on that. I can see a lot of Liverpool fans are criticising Trent for leaving. I kind of get it. They'll be disappointed. He's one of their own. They feel he might have played them on a little bit. But it's Real Madrid, man. It is Real Madrid. When Real Madrid come knocking, I just think it's different to anything else. It's different maybe if you play for Barcelona, because the rivalry. But I personally, and Liverpool fans won't like me saying this, but I personally think it's a great move for Trent. And listen, I think you have to understand that they are... It's very difficult for any football player to turn down Real Madrid. I think if he'd have stayed at Liverpool, he'd have regretted it. I think he'd have regretted that move by staying. So we'll see. But listen, I've got a video coming out. Right, I'll get back to those. There's a couple more super chats. I'll get to them. Let's talk some transfer news. Then we'll talk Saka and we'll build up to that, people. Let's talk about this guy. Martin Zubimendi. Zubi-dooby-doo, where are you? Well, it looks like he could be in Madrid as well next season. Which, I'll give you my breakdown of it, and I want to know your guys' opinion. Number one, am I that disappointed if Zubimendi doesn't join Arsenal? No, I'm actually not. I'll be honest with you. And I've said this openly on this channel a lot. So I don't want people to think, oh, he's just saying this because Madrid. Nah. I actually am not sure whether Zubimendi is what Arsenal need. There's other players out there. I would rather sign Bruno Guimaraes. I would rather sign Camavinga. I'm not saying we can get those guys. But I'm saying I think they're more suited to what we need than what Zubimendi offers. However... Again, you've got to look at the British media, aren't you, and the way Arsenal manipulate the fan base at times, which is very irritating. January transfer window closes. We're all angry. We've all got that Ollie Watkins, what's gone wrong, how did we not sign him? And Arsenal put this story out, Zubimendi. It's advanced. It's practically done. Sammy Mokbel, Fabrizio... Ornstein, all of them ran with it. Obviously, that must have been fed by the agent or by the club. It must have been fed out there because they spoke about it with too much confidence. It wasn't a guessing game. It was, this is basically going to happen. Now the reports coming out of Spain, Premier League clubs who are interested in Martin Zubimendi now understand he is increasingly likely to join Real Madrid this summer. Now, let's be honest. If Madrid came knocking, he was probably all... Listen, just in the defence of Arsenal, maybe Arsenal were advanced. He was going to go to Arsenal because, let's face it, he would leave Sociedad to come to Arsenal. And there's a release clause, so there's no negotiation with the club. So maybe Arsenal were winning the race. Maybe they were going to get him. And then maybe Real Madrid have looked at it and thought, well, actually, he's on his way to Arsenal, but Modric is in his late 30s. Toni Kroos left a year ago. These rumours of Camavinga leaving. Okay. Get it done. Get it done. Pay the release clause. Make that phone call. All of a sudden, he's going to drop and block Arsenal real quick. So maybe Arsenal are not in the wrong. Let me just give some context. Maybe it isn't completely their fault. right? Maybe they were going to sign him and Real Madrid have hijacked it. And of course, Spanish international, he's going to go to Real Madrid ahead of Arsenal. Let's just be realistic. But I want to make it abundantly clear. I never wanted this guy. I really want to make that abundantly clear. I did not want this guy at Arsenal. Now, we saw him in the Euros final. He ripped up England. He ripped up England when Rodri came off. But I saw for our old Casemiro, 34, 33 maybe. I saw a completely washed up Casemiro bully this guy at Old Trafford. And the first thing I was thinking is, are you actually a Premier League midfielder? I'm not taking anything away from him as a player. I think he's a very talented footballer. But is he a Premier League player? I'm not sure if he is. I think he's very lightweight. And I don't think he's the most mobile either, to be honest. And I think to play 6, you look at the best number 6s in Premier League history. They're either very mobile or very physical or both. And they can play. You look at N'Golo Kante, his mobility was on another planet. You look at Rodri, powerhouse in that 6 role. Casemiro was very powerful at Real Madrid. Zubimendi, to me, is a deep-lying playmaker. He's perfect for the Spanish league, not the Premier League. So I have no problem. Get me Barella, get me Bruno Guimaraes, or get me Camavinga. Because these rumours Camavinga could be leaving Real Madrid, by the way. So, but who knows? If he signs for us, I'll edit this bit out and say what a player is, the new Santi Cazorla. However, Zubimendi looks like he's on his way to Real Madrid. Smokey said, is Zubimendi pump faking us for the Bernabeu? Not surprised. Let's be totally honest. We can't be mad. We can't be mad. Spanish born, Spanish international. You got a chance to go to Real Madrid or Arsenal. Who's he going to go to? He's going to go to Real Madrid. So I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I think Arsenal just look a bit stupid that they fed the story out to the media to make out the deal was practically done as a coping mechanism because we were all angry we hadn't bought a striker and missed out on Watkins. So is Partey leaving? I mean, it looks like he's going to. It looks like he's going to. I think the problem with Thomas Partey is this. Thomas Partey wants first-team football. As you've seen this season, Thomas Partey is at a level that he can totally play. He's been our best midfielder. Over the course of the season, Partey's been better than Rice and Odegaard and Marino. He's been our best midfielder this season. So in reality, letting him go is a poor decision. I just wonder, you know, now you've made that point, I wonder if this changes what Arsenal do with Thomas Partey, because maybe Partey was going to go because Zubimendi was going to sign for us. If Zubimendi doesn't sign for us, do Arsenal go back to Thomas Partey and go, actually, there's a new contract, we're going to keep you, and then save us buying a number 6? I don't know. But we need a midfielder regardless because Jorginho is going to leave. The problem we've got with Partey is this, people. Juventus want him, Barcelona want him. Those clubs love signing players on free transfers. If you look over the years, the history of Juventus and Barcelona, those clubs will give him probably 2 or 3 year deal. The rumour is Arsenal want to give him a year. Partey's going to want stability at this point in his career, in his 30s. He's got a young child. You want to know what you're doing for the next few years. If Arsenal are going, here's a 1 year deal as a squad player, and Juventus are saying there's a 2 or 3 year deal, and you're going to start every week, or Barcelona, then he's probably going to go there. And yeah, Jeremy, and I've said it openly, there's an open case in the background. We don't know what's going to happen with that. So, but let's see. I think Arsenal should look at the Partey situation a bit more closely. With Jorginho, I think that story's over. With Partey, for another year, I think would be a good player for us and maybe save us having to buy somebody else in that role. Jalai said, when Madrid, City and Bayern wanted a striker, they got Mbappe, Haaland and Kane, the best in Europe. When we want, man, Man, when we want one, man are telling us about Sesko. You know what? You're speaking my language there. You're speaking my language. This is what I'm talking about. You need to try and get the best available. And this is what has annoyed me about Arsenal for a long, long time. Why is it when we want a striker, we're scrolling down the list? Start at the top of the list. Who's the best striker potentially available this summer on the market? It's Isak, possibly. And I'm not saying you can get Isak, but there's potentially maybe available. If you can't get him, who's next? Maybe Gyokeres or Osimhen. We're already starting 4 or 5 places down the list. Oh, Sesko, because in 2 years we might turn him into this. Not interested in that. We're too far down the line. This position is too important. I think you can take a chance with a left back. I think you can take a chance with a centre mid because there's players around them that can make them look better. I think Jordan Henderson is an average Premier League player. Maybe slightly above average. Maybe I'm doing him a little bit of a disservice, but I don't think he's a particularly great footballer. And you saw that when he played for England. He looked bang average. But they put him in a midfield system at Liverpool where they had players like Fabinho and players like that. And all of a sudden, you can make a half-decent player look better because of the system. With a striker, there's no hiding place. Nobody can make the striker look better than he is because you're the guy that finishes the chances. So if you're not good, you're going to miss chances. You're going to expose yourself that you're not good enough. Arsenal have not had a top-quality striker since Oba left this football club. We've tried Gabriel Jesus. It looked good and then it fell off. We've tried with Havertz. It never really was the answer. Arsenal have got to sign the best available and stop messing about. We've tried the midfielder that can play up front or the guy that plays on the wing sometimes that's not prolific. Go and sign a proven goal scorer, top quality. Listen, I don't want people to think I'm dissing Henderson here, by the way. Henderson was a vital piece of that Liverpool squad, and he was captain at the end. But if we're being honest, as an individual talent, he wasn't looked at worldwide as some world-class centre midfielder. He was a decent player that got everything in terms of achievement with his industry and his hard work and his leadership. Ray Parlour. Yeah, Ray Parlour, again, wasn't a worldie, but they're them players that get everything, you know, out of their ability. It's not all natural talent. 08, he said, bit disappointed, but want Barros, Karma, or Stiller. Fair enough. Big up. Oh, Rasta Mouse. Uncle Curtis, if the first summer signing is a defender, would you be excited or furious when even Stevie Wonder can see a striker is needed? I always say with a transfer window, bro, it doesn't... Whoa, there we go. Lights falling over. It doesn't matter what order the players come in. It matters who joins the club. If we sign Sesko first day of the transfer window, I'm fuming. Doesn't matter that we signed a striker on day one. It's who you sign. If you sign Sesko on day one, I'm furious. If you sign Isak Gyokeres on the last day of the window, I'm delighted. So I don't care what order we sign the players. I just want the right players to come in. That's all I want to see. And Forever Gunner said, why the F are we linked with every striker in the world? Also, did you watch the Odegaard masterclass versus Israel? I mean, first of all, I saw some clips. I didn't even realise it was Israel. But without being disrespectful, it was Israel. They talk about, remember that time when against Gibraltar, he broke a record of the most created chances in an international game. I think it was in like 30 years or something. I was like, bro, it's Gibraltar. I reckon I could play against Gibraltar and still do half decent. The most famous thing about Gibraltar is the big rock in the ocean. I mean, so no disrespect to Israel. They're better than Gibraltar, but I want to see him do that against Liverpool at Anfield, against, you know, Real Madrid. Israel, cool, respectfully, you know. So yeah, let's look at him when he's at the Bernabeu. Then we'll make a judgment. Big up Latte, hope you're well, bro. He said I watched RVP's 144 Premier League goals. Oh my god, he is an icon. Let's be honest, in terms of striker, outside of Thierry Henry, he's the best all-round striker that's played for Arsenal at the Emirates. And I love the Aubameyang, but all-round game, Robin van Persie is number one. The touch, the movement, it's a left foot of dreams. When Van Persie was shooting on the left foot, you knew what time it was. The guy went to United, won the Golden Boot, won the title. He was incredible. The thing what was so frustrating about Van Persie, we went through a lot of years with Van Persie where he wasn't that good and he played on the wing and then he got to his peak and then we lost him. Now, Marcelo, Anelka never... I'm on about Emirates era. Anelka played at Highbury. Anelka's one of my favourites. RVP is absolute, pure world class. World class. That level that he reached at Arsenal and then that year at United, he was unbelievable. Look at the modern game right now and you look at strikers, he would be one of the best strikers in the world. If you offered me Haaland right now or prime Van Persie, I would take prime Van Persie. Because of the all-round game, he could do more than score goals. Free kicks, penalties, volleys, curlers, drilled shots outside of the box. Look at the amount of time Song's chipping it over the top, man's just volleying it. Nah. RVP was different level. That guy was ridiculous, honestly. On a personal level, every Arsenal fan's got that same kind of dislike towards him. But as a player, that guy was ferocious, man. Honestly, when he left, I think that was... I would say Van Persie joining Man United is one of the worst days ever as an Arsenal fan. I've dealt with Henry leaving, kind of managed that one. Alexis leaving was tough, but Aubameyang was on the way, so I kind of got over that. The day Van Persie joined Man United, I think I genuinely was looking at Arsenal like I might have picked the wrong club here. Something's not right. Why is our best player going to our biggest rival? That was sickening. Yeah, you're right. That one was sickening, I'm telling you. And the fact the man got Golden Boot and scored against us as well. Mad. The striker level. I think I got to make a video about strikers. What's going on with strikers? There were so many strikers. Top quality as well, you know. Big up Matt, that goal against Barca sums up the quality. Could make something out of nothing. He was unbelievable, bro. He was unreal. His header in the World Cup, the flying header. Big up my bro Akeem, Van Persie better than Haaland and Mbappe. Technically, as a footballer, I'd say he is. Like, if you're talking about touch and link-up and all that, Mbappe's more ferocious because of the speed. Do you know what I mean? His speed makes him different. Haaland is an unbelievable... Haaland is a numbers guy. He'll get you 30, 40 goals a season. But RVP, man, what a player. But yeah, he was unreal. Uncle Curtis, you were clapping RVP at the Guard of Honor. Bro, I would more likely have slapped him. I would have more likely slapped him, but who can blame him? The problem with Arsenal, we were angry when every player left. Van Persie's a snake. Ashley Cole's a snake. They're all snakes. But in reality, some of those guys were right. They had good reason to leave. I feel like, as I'm looking back over that comment, I feel like Mbappe might be above Van Persie. Hat-trick in the World Cup. Anyway, that's a different conversation. Mbappe is well behind CR7 and Messi. I think the next in line was Neymar. Neymar was the one. Neymar at Barcelona was going to be the Ballon d'Or winner. He was going to take over from Ronaldo and Messi. I think football missed out the day that Neymar went to PSG. I think that was one of the worst moves that we've seen in football was Neymar going there. I thought Neymar was the one. Some people think RVP was better than Mbappe. That would be a good discussion, definitely. Anyway, let's move on. Zubimendi's dropped the pump fake on us. Let's talk about our main player, our main attacker. I said very early on that I believe this guy will play for Arsenal in April. He'll be out all season, blah, blah, blah. No, he won't. He won't. I've seen this hamstring injury before. Especially when you're young and you've got great technology, which these guys have in the Premier League. You can recover from this injury pretty quickly. And he has. So let's read out the story and I'll give you a bit of context. So Charles Watt says there is a growing hope that Saka could feature against Fulham in the coming week. If Saka is to return, it will give him 1 week to get up to speed before the first leg against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final. Now, I'll give you a bit more insight into this. There's also a rumour, by the way, that Saka's going to play a behind-closed-doors game this week just to get some minutes. Yeah, Elise had the same injury. Look at Elise. I think he scored for France the other day. His career's got better and better since the injury, which is crazy. Look at Dembele against Liverpool the other week. Absolutely ferocious. I just want to say something, and I want to make this abundantly clear. This is a difficult situation. I've seen a lot of people online saying, don't rush Saka back. I totally get that. Don't rush him back. But if a doctor says to you, you need 3 months to recover from that, and you're past 3 months, and your hamstring has healed, what are you supposed to do? Now, I'm not saying this as any sort of medical professional. Does the hamstring heal more the longer you give it? I'm actually asking people this. I don't know. Maybe we got a doctor in the comments. If they're saying your hamstring is 100% healed, does giving him another month, does that make the hamstring stronger? I really don't know. I don't know. The guy has been declared fit. There's actually a rumour that Saka played last week for Arsenal. Arsenal had an under-21 game last week against Cardiff. And apparently the game was supposed to be open viewing and they moved it to behind closed doors. And there was a rumour online, how true this is I don't know, that Saka played some part in that game. I don't know how long. And then there's another report going out today that there's another game tomorrow that is on the training ground that Saka might get a few minutes in. So it's a tough one. H-Town said, yeah, but Kurt, it's this same staff that kept Ben White playing. Also, by the way, yeah, it does heal the longer you leave it. And listen, I'm asking the question. Because I'm just trying to get the context of, is there a difference playing Saka next week or playing him in a month? Like, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm asking the question. The doctor on AFTV said when it's ready, it's ready. And that's my point. I don't think Arsenal are rushing Saka back. I think he's medically been declared fit to play. They've obviously been doing work. Apparently he's been in the gym for over 6 weeks. He went to Dubai with the team and was doing gym work. He's been on the training ground for a few weeks, apparently, from the stuff that we're reading. I don't think Arsenal, even though Arsenal have been naive at times, there's rumours that they rush back Gabriel Jesus. You know, they said publicly that Ben White needed an operation and they tried to play him through it. So they have made mistakes. But Joba said, no, it doesn't. I'm a medical student about to complete my MD, PhD. The hamstring gets stronger the more you use it. Muscles and tendons get stronger as you use them, not as you let them stay. There you go. Yeah, it definitely needs time. We also have to take into account the mental aspect, as in he'll be timid for a while with fear it could go again. Yeah, Yeah. If he's ready, let's go. Hala Madrid. Listen, let's work from a case of best case scenario. This is what I want us to do as a fan base. We have no choice in the matter. We have no choice. Some people in the chat think leave him out till the end of the season. They're not going to do that. They're going to play him. There's a route that, like, people are saying he could be on the bench against Fulham. If he's on the bench, then let's look at it from a positive point of view. Our best attacking player is back. He's back. He's in training. Our season is riding on Real Madrid. Let's be honest. The Premier League games are tick-over games now. I'll watch them. I'll do watch-alongs. I hope we win them. I'll celebrate the goals. But they're all tick-along games. Our Premier League season is basically in pre-season. We're in pre-season. The Champions League is what's left of this season. If Saka is back, let's work from a positive point of view. And this is me you're talking to. And when it comes to Arsenal, I don't find it easy to look at it from a positive point of view because this club winds me up because I always feel they can do more than what they're doing. But let's look at it as we are going to play Real Madrid in 2 weeks and Saka is potentially going to be on the bench against Fulham. Imagine if he has an involvement in that and does something that helps us. Just seeing him back on the bench, hearing his name announced, will be massive for us. So it's interesting. Listen, of course, I have the same concerns. I have the same concerns as everyone. Imagine if something happens to him. Which is why, actually, you would think they need to get him involved before the Real Madrid game because Real Madrid is going to be an end-to-end, high-intensity game. You don't really want that to be his first game. What you want is a couple of behind-closed-doors 20-minute appearances. Maybe you get him off the bench for 15 minutes against Fulham. Gets another week of training. I think we've got Everton then as well at the weekend. Maybe you get him 20 minutes in that, and then you've got him available for Real Madrid. You're still probably not going to start him against Real Madrid, but it's a weapon. 20 minutes to go at home. The game's in the balance. Saka's had 3 or 4 appearances now. 2 in the Premier League, 2 friendlies on the training ground. You're bringing him on for 20 minutes. And Celo, listen, I agree with you. I think Arteta did overuse him. There's no way he should have been playing in Carabao Cup games and things like that. But yeah, I'm just going to trust the club on this one. They must know how important Saka is to this football club. It would be insane of this club to rush him back. Surely he's been signed off. He's training okay. He's done his strengthening rehab to get those legs strong again. And then you've just got to put it down to, let's hope he's fortunate that that hamstring doesn't go again. And that's where we're at, people. Julio, thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. Over 2,100 of you in the chat. Big up your damn self, supporting as always. I've been off for a couple of days. Honestly, it's been so quiet. And I don't like to force content on people. So, listen, we're playing a guessing game. We're looking at it going, you know what? Don't risk him, leave him out for the season. The club are looking at it going, medically, he's back, he's fit. He's done his rehab. He's training. They're going to play him. Let's see. They're going to have to manage him a lot different, though, moving forward. All of that 90 minutes and playing him all the time, they need to adapt that moving forward because they've overplayed him. Big C, do you ever think you'd do a fan meet-up? Definitely. Definitely got to do that. Maybe at the end of the season. And Joba said, big up the community. This summer is the biggest ever. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Although we say that every year, but I think it is. I think it is. I think next season, even though I think it should have been this season, I think next season is make or break for Arteta. I don't think he can get away with these seasons for another season. I think even the biggest of Arteta fans will say 6 seasons. You can't get away with that. I think, you know, my point of view and where he is, I would have already been applying that sort of pressure, but I don't think he can get away with it. He'll have a year left on his deal next summer. I just don't think he can run with that. But then the owners might not think that. The owners might be sitting there going, everything's fine. Get top 4, extend his contract. So maybe the owners don't view it like that. That's the issue, you know. Injury excuses will not run next season. Yeah, this season he's kind of gone, oh, the injuries have been bad and PGMOL and the red cards. He's got away with that. So that's giving him a shield to hide behind. Oompa Loompa said, Sapney Curtis catching a few minutes live on my lunch break, working 2 jobs, 7 days a week for a deposit. Nearly there now. The dream is in sight. Just need Arsenal to deliver next season. Come on, you Gunners. Big up, man. Got to put that work in, right? Got to put that work in. Big up yourself. You want to achieve something in life? Got to work hard for it, people. You know? Curtis' thoughts on the tier. No, we spoke about that. I thought they heavily underrated. Well, they gave elite. I'll take that. But, you know, in my own mind, we're goated. The community's goated. The community's goated. You know? But big up, man. It was good entertainment. Walk the mental talk to tuning back with the C Unit community after a hard month of grinding. Bless up, Big C. Big up yourself, bro. I say it's the biggest because of Berta. Arteta equals a fraud. Well, let's hope Berta gets the power. SG's doing me dirty trying to draw for the... Nah, SG, you better relax. You've been a member for 12 months. I was going to shout you out. Then I saw the super chat. And Frog surrounded by rock said, lovely, I'll bring you some chicken soup. Yeah, I don't know about no chicken soup, you know. Yeah, you know, chicken soup. You only used to have that when you was a kid and you had like flu or something. They'd draw for the soup. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody eat soup like on a normal... Like, I don't think I ever eat soup just on a normal day. Like, yo, I'm hungry, man. Let me have some soup. I feel like I only had soup when I was a kid when I wasn't feeling well. It's Saturday soup when you was a kid, but no, I don't. As a grown adult, I'm not sure I've ever actually made soup. You get too hot, man. I don't deal with soup. I can't lie. Some of you do, but nah. Soup is last resort. Yeah, man, I don't know. You get too hot and... not as an adult, man. Maybe as a teenager was the last time I had soup. Trust me, man, I ain't having soup. I used to. With a little bread on the side. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But nah, I ain't had soup for years. I can't lie. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on before we end up talking food and move on. Isak. Alexander Isak, people. This story's created excitement. I'm not getting too excited for it because I've already put a mindset that we're not going to get him. So if we do get him, I'll be ecstatic. But if we don't get him, then I'll have already dealt with it. So I'm already in that zone. In my opinion, Isak stays at Newcastle this season. I think he stays. 3 years left. No financial pressure. I think he's staying. However, caught offside have revealed Newcastle have paused contract talks with Alexander Isak after he did not accept their initial proposals, with the club now set to reassess and plan their next move. Both Arsenal and Liverpool increasingly view Isak as their top priority up front this summer. Listen, I said it in a clip the other day, and big up Don Arsenal, man. And I kind of... I wasn't totally saying what he said here, but I said for me this summer, the day the deadline opens or the transfer window opens, I think Arsenal should pay the Gyokeres release clause. That would be what I would do if I was Arsenal. Day one, transfer window's open. Right, lads, we've got the money. What are we going to do? I'm paying Victor Gyokeres release clause. Because there's a release clause. It's a reasonable amount of money. The guy's a goal-scoring machine. He's aggressive. And you'll get him. Isak is a dream that I just don't think will become a reality. Not this summer. Certainly not this summer. The last thing Arsenal need is a saga of chasing after this guy and missing out on other players. Now, I want people to understand, I don't think Gyokeres is a better footballer than Isak. I don't. I love Isak. I think Isak is so much of an Arsenal player. The 14, the swagger, all of it. He would be incredible. But I don't think we're going to get him. Inquire, ask the price. They'll probably say 150, or they'll probably say we're not even interested. And then leave it there. Don't bother with it. He's got 3 years left. They're under no pressure to sell him. They've got the richest owners in the world, and they've won a trophy. The only way you get him out of Newcastle this summer is if they miss out on Europe or miss out on the Champions League and he starts making noise. He starts doing that, it's a different conversation. But I think he's got too much love and respect for Newcastle and probably got belief in them now because he's just won a trophy. So I don't think you're getting him. So for me, I mean, some people saying get Osimhen. No problem. I want Arsenal to buy a quality striker. You get Isak, you get Gyokeres, you get Osimhen. I don't want to hear nothing about no Sesko. I don't want to hear them type of conversations. We're not in that situation. I'd have took Sesko 2 years ago when we were trying to get Tielemans when we just finished 5th. That's the kind of striker I expected at that time. Not right now. Second for the 3rd year in a row. One of the best clubs in Europe. Right? Not that the trophies reflect it, but in terms of league position and what we're doing, we should be looking for the best available. Not for cheap and cheerful. And that's what Arsenal tend to do. Somebody nailed it earlier in the comments. They said when Bayern Munich wanted a striker, they bought Harry Kane. When Man City wanted a striker, they bought Haaland. When Real Madrid wanted a striker, they bought Mbappe. Not no Sesko. No. This ain't a project. Buy a proven goal scorer that is in form and doing the business. Simple as that. This striker situation's been going on for too long. Apparently, just reading the whole story, I think they're making the headline a little bit more exaggerated in the sense that he's rejected the deal, so maybe he's leaving. From what I've read in the article, Newcastle have sort of put something on the table. He hasn't accepted it, and they're going to start again in the summer. It's standard negotiation. I don't think he said, oh, no, I'm not having it and I'm leaving. It's, are you going to accept the first offer from Newcastle? No. He's going to get what he feels he's entitled to. They've probably offered him something. He said no. It's standard negotiation. But obviously they ran with it as if, oh, he's rejected Newcastle's first offer and he's leaving. It doesn't really work like that, does it? So, and I said this before, by the way, is that I'm not sure Isak actually suits the way Arteta plays football right now. And that's another reason why I would go for Gyokeres. Because when you look at Arsenal don't create loads of chances for their striker in transition. A lot of Isak's goals are in transition. They hit you on the break. They've got Gordon. They've got Murphy. They've got Isak. They catch you in transition. Newcastle are not necessarily a team that dominates possession, try and control the game and play at a slower tempo. Their goals are speed, transition goals. So he probably won't have as much time and space in an Arsenal team because teams will low block against us. We put a lot of crosses in, which is probably why he wants a 6'5" Sesko up front, because if we can't create anything, guess what we're going to do? We're going to give the ball to Saka and we're going to whip crosses in all game, and we've got a 6'5" striker in Sesko that's going to try and get his head on the ball. So that's probably why we want him. That's probably why we want him, to be honest. But listen, Isak is... I would love it if we signed Isak, but I just don't think we're going to get him. But negotiations have stalled. Maybe if Newcastle miss out on top 4, there's a little glimmer of hope. But you're going to have to pay a king's ransom to get him out of there. Gyokeres 65 mil release clause. Osimhen 65. Isak will be 120 million minimum. 2 for 1. No brainer. And it's caught offside, which isn't the best of sources, to be honest. Anyway, Although you're right, actually, Isak, and he scored a header against us, to be honest, in the game at St. James's in the league. So maybe he is decent in the air. Let's look at an alternative that we're being linked with. Let's look at an alternative. And a lot of you have spoken about this guy. And it's Hugo Ekitike, who plays for Frankfurt, over there in the Bundesliga, who's having a very good season and apparently is available for £60 million. Now, he's been linked with a move to Liverpool. Used to play for PSG. Very, very talented player. Tall, good movement. Hasn't been prolific in his career, but just having that season. He's having that season what sort of kicked into gear. He looks like Wemby. He actually does. That's a great point, you know. I've only just seen that. Is he good enough for Arsenal? If you're signing Gyokeres and you sign Ekitike, I'm delighted. He's not an out-and-out goal scorer. He drifts. He moves. He's a very good player. If you're signing him as your main striker, I'm not sure if that's enough. It's another player that you're thinking with development in 2 years could be really good, but he's not what we need. We don't need no project striker. 13 goals in 25 games this season, 4 assists, exciting player. I mean, he's not in the French squad, which when you've got players like Marcus Thuram and Kolo Muani, that doesn't say too much about him either. You know, because you know what I think about players like Muani. I don't rate him. So it's a no from me, people. I got to be honest. Like I said, you sign a Gyokeres and you get Ekitike, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But it's not the answer for me. By the way, did you guys watch Argentina against Brazil the other night? Argentina battered Brazil 4-1. Gabriel Magalhaes wasn't available. He was suspended, which I'm glad. I didn't want him playing in that game. It didn't look nice. But Cunha playing in the 10 role for Brazil, scored as well and looked decent. I mean, they got cooked in that game, Brazil. But Cunha, man, I'm telling you, I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan. And this is what I'm saying again. Isak's going to cost you 120, 130. You could actually buy Gyokeres and Cunha for that same price. You've got your attacking midfielder who can score goals and you've got your prolific striker. And that is the road I think Arsenal should go down. As much as I love Isak, and I do love Isak, and I want Isak, 14, it's made for us. It's gonna be half of our transfer budget at least. You can get 2 positions for that same amount. Yeah, you could get Gyokeres and Jonathan David. Jonathan David's a free. Emi Martinez was taking the mick. What I liked in that game, the ball got passed back to him and he controlled it and flicked it up and started kneeing the ball up. And his manager was going mad saying it was disrespectful, but I thought it was hilarious. Jerk chicken from the drum it is. Yo, big up, man. Big up, frogs surrounded by rocks, man. Some people can't believe that I hadn't had soup for years. I used to, but Murillo was poor. But Brazil were poor in general. And I did say I like Murillo. Rice, Odegaard, Cunha. Do you know what? People won't like this comment, but I think there's a world where Arsenal can create a midfield and Odegaard's not in the midfield. And we're still very strong. I'm not necessarily at the point with Odegaard where I'm like, okay, any Arsenal midfield I pick, you've got to be in it. I'm now in a situation where I'm like, I'm not saying I want to get rid of you. I still think you're a fantastic player. But I'm in a situation where you might not be a guarantee in this team because he's not doing enough. Now, you could say it's one season, don't write him off. He doesn't deserve that. He's the captain. But you can't let players who are supposed to be top players just have a season off. We go, I just had a bad season. Well, the season's 38 league games. You got to get your act together at some stage. Like if you signed Cunha, what about, you know, if we had Declan Rice and they sign another midfielder and then Cunha's in the advance role? Because at the moment, Odegaard's not creating chances and he's not scoring. And you're our advanced midfielder. So Zidane knew. Yeah, Zidane let him go on the cheap. We always have to say it as it is, people, right? And some people will just say, listen, Odegaard was unlucky. He was at Real Madrid. There was a lot of competition there. And he just couldn't get in the team. No, Real Madrid don't just let players go, especially in their early 20s, for £35 million. They obviously saw a talent, but they didn't see enough. I mean, Evolve, he's not happy. He said, you man are a disgrace. One bad season. We've seen other players drop stinker after stinker. Hear what I'm saying, bro. I didn't want to say sell Odegaard. I didn't say he's a bad player. I'm saying, and I've said this same thing for years, by the way, if Arsenal want to get back to the heights, the great heights, some of the guys who you look at and think they're the best players at the club, you've actually got to put those guys in a position where, listen, if you've had a bad 10 games, 5 games, you're getting dropped. Odegaard's had a bad season. So why should he be guaranteed a place in this Arsenal team? If Odegaard gets dropped next season and we sign Cunha, and Cunha's in that role doing more, am I disappointed? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He's not Thierry Henry. He's not Van Persie. He's not prime Aubameyang. He's not prime Alexis Sanchez. He's a very good player. I appreciate what he's done, but he's not playing well. So if he gets dropped, I have no problem with that. We've got to stop overhyping some of these players. They haven't won us trophies. So maybe they're actually not as good as we think they are. The one thing I will give Odegaard, I think you put a better striker in front of him, you get a better player. Sometimes as a creative player, you're only as good as the striker you create him for. He's had Havertz, he's had Gabriel Jesus. You give him Gyokeres, Isak, maybe you get a better Odegaard because he's got a genuine goal scorer. However, we can't be looking at Odegaard and thinking, oh, no, not a chance you can drop Odegaard. No, he can get dropped. He can definitely get dropped, bro. Real talk. Because I'm telling you now, if you offered me Cunha in that Odegaard role right now, if Cunha was at Arsenal, I'd play him ahead of Odegaard. Because he can shoot and he drives with the ball. So, but listen, we'll see. We'll see. Ozil had Giroud in front of him, yeah. And Giroud wasn't great at Arsenal, let's be honest. So imagine how good he would have looked if he had a better striker. Anyway, let's move on. We'll save that conversation for another day. Maybe that's another video we can delve into. Martin Odegaard, what's happened? Is the baby still latching on, people? Cunha definitely starts at 10. I'm a big fan of Cunha, man. Baller. Let's talk about Isak Nwaneri. He's one of our own. Arsenal are closing in on an agreement over a new contract with Isak Nwaneri. Sources have told Football Insider with an agreement between all parties expected soon. Sources say Nwaneri is very happy at Arsenal and contract talks have been easy. As I said on a show earlier in the week, he's on £3,000 a week at the moment. His new contract will be £60,000 a week. That is what you call a pay rise. Does he deserve it? Absolutely. What a player. Probably saved the club 50, 60 million, to be honest. Scored for England under 21s on his debut. Standard goal for him. Cuts inside on the right. Bends it in the far corner. The guy's an absolute baller. 5-year deal. Easy to keep him. Wants to stay at the club. Needs to get consistent game time. Consistent game time. Even when Saka's back. What I don't want to see with Nwaneri is that Saka returns and this guy's sitting on the bench all the time. I don't want to see that. I actually think there could be a world where Saka and Nwaneri are the two wingers at the moment. Or do you play him in that central role? Do you move Odegaard out and play him in that role? Or do you move Odegaard to the 8? Could you play Rice and Odegaard and then Nwaneri in the slightly more advanced role? What I want to see from Mikel Arteta in the next, 8, 9 league games, I want to see different lineups. I don't want to just watch, Arsenal are playing today. Who've we got? Trossard on the left, Marino up top, Nwaneri on the right. Same old, nothing changed. Boring till the end of the season. I want to see Lewis Skelly playing the 8 role for a game. I want to see Nwaneri playing that Odegaard role. I want to see Zinchenko starting a game in midfield. You know, because there's still questions. If Zinchenko leaves Arsenal this summer, we're going to go, actually, did we have a really good midfielder sitting on the bench or playing at left back all that time? Because I genuinely believe Zinchenko could go to a Dortmund or I don't know, a Marseille or someone like that and play centre mid and be a good midfielder. So I want to see something different. Could you play Martinelli up front? Could you do something else that we find out what these players are capable of in different places on the pitch? But we will see. Listen, of course, massive pay rise, 5-year deal. He's 17. He just turned 18 and they're offering him 60 grand a week. It's a lot of money, but he's a hell of a player. 5-year deal, so he'll be 23 when that contract's finishing, but you've got to secure him. Apparently, a lot of the other clubs in the Premier League have been looking at him, which is natural. So that's probably... You've got to think of it like this. Chido Obi went to Man United for 30 grand a week at the age of 16. He hadn't played 1 minute for the first team. Because there's some people in the chat saying 60 grand's too much. Chido Obi at 16 got 30 grand a week with not 1 minute of first team football. Nwaneri's in the England under-21s, very nearly apparently got in the full England squad. I'd say he's been the most exciting Arsenal player to watch this season, possibly along with Saka. He's probably good enough to start for us. He scored in the Champions League, scored in the Premier League, scored in the Carabao Cup. He's worth 60 grand a week. Reece Nelson's on 100 grand. Nwaneri's better than Reece Nelson. You've got to pay these guys. You can't offer him 30 grand a week when Chido Obi's on 30 grand a week. He's going to say, bro, I'll go Man City then, or I'll go somewhere else. Gunnarola said 70, 80 million on these project strikers is not smart business. Blow the bag on Isak. We have a real opportunity to make a statement. It's a no-brainer. And also the other thing is that I think this season, and I know we say this a lot, but I think teams like Man City and Liverpool, I think they're going to go for it in the transfer market this season. Liverpool only bought Chiesa last season. They're possibly going to lose Trent. They might lose Van Dijk and Salah as well. I think Liverpool will spend big money this summer. I think Man City will spend a lot of money. Because I think players like Bernardo Silva, Ederson, De Bruyne might leave. Kyle Walker's left on loan. He might go on a permanent. That's a lot of wages and a lot of big players out of the door. So I think City will spend big as well. United have got new owners, new manager. They're a long way off at the moment, but they're not going to be terrible forever. If you look at Chelsea's team, I think Chelsea are only 2 or 3 players away from being up there. They need a goalkeeper. They probably need a centre-back, and they need a striker. So their problems are not that big. If they went and got like an Osimhen and a really good goalkeeper and a centre-back, all of a sudden Chelsea bridge that gap as well, and then you're in a title race with 3 or 4 other teams. So Arsenal can't afford to have a summer like last summer, because what will happen next season is we'll actually start slipping down in terms of the Premier League table. Rather than finishing second, we're in a top 4 battle, so we can't afford to stand still this summer. We need a signing. We need a signing that is going to lift the fan base, really excite us. What was the last Arsenal player that signed for Arsenal that genuinely you was excited? I'll be honest, mine was Aubameyang. That's how far back I would go. Declan Rice, I wasn't excited. I was kind of surprised because once Man City offered 80 million, I thought we're not getting him. I wouldn't say I was excited. I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, get me to the Emirates. I want to put Rice's name on the back of my shirt. I was just like, wow, fair play. They've spent £100 million on a player. Aubameyang had me excited. When that announcement video came out, I was jumping around my front room going crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was disappointed though because Sanchez had left 2 weeks before. So it wasn't even pure excitement. There was a little bit of frustration that Aubameyang should have been signing with Alexis Sanchez in the team. Alexis Sanchez, I remember being in my car, they announced it on the radio. I was beeping the horn. Alexis Sanchez, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Been watching him since Udinese, I can't believe it. Mesut Ozil, I mean, we were going nuts when we signed Mesut Ozil. Arsenal need a signing of that level this summer. I'm telling you now. They need a signing that makes you jump around your front room. That makes you want to print their name on the back of your shirt. That we need that. We need a leader. Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here? Yo, come on. When that's the best thing Mkhitaryan did at Arsenal, actually, was announce Aubameyang. Apart from that, he was awful. The Aubameyang announcement is still to this day goated. I feel like playing it. Let's play it. It's the end of the show. We can edit this bit out. Let's end with the announcement. The best thing Mkhitaryan did for Arsenal was announce Odegaard.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here? Look at this, man. Look at it. You can't do this with Sesko. Man said let it go. Run that, man. Look at Obo, man. That guy, what a player. We wasted it. We do it all the time when I think about it. Every time we get stopped. Come on! I'm gonna stop it. I won't play all of it. I won't overdo it. It's a minute long. Imagine announcing Sesko. What are you going to do? Get him chewing branches off the trees. You know what I mean? We've signed a giraffe from the Bundesliga. Oh, great. You can't do that. Striker, man. We're starving of a striker, people. Starving. Striker tax. Anyway, Jan says, I was watching Sesko playing against Slovakia since I'm from Slovakia. I can't understand what Arteta sees in him. I guarantee you we're going to sign him, and there goes the striker solution. I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near the football club. Yo, Sesko, you want to come out here? I mean, what's he going to do? Oh, man, bond that. They did try it with Havertz, but it didn't work. We never fell for it. Now, Gyokeres' announcement could be good because of all that. You know, that celebration would be wild. I can't lie. Someone cutting onions. Bro, I'm telling you now. Arsenal, look at this. Storm says, I'm literally in tears. I miss that, brother. Every time Arsenal get someone special, they miss the missing link. So you sign Mesut Ozil. We're all going crazy thinking we've signed one of the best number 10s in the world. But you've got Giroud up front, who's going 15 games in a row without scoring. So you're wasting the best creative midfielder with a striker that can't hit the back of the net. You then have Cesc Fabregas, one of the best ball-playing centre mids in the world. And then you've got Cazorla, one of the most unbelievable technically gifted midfielders. But you're playing DMs like Coquelin and players like that next to him who are just decent, not good enough. Then you get Partey, who's a brilliant DM, but you don't have the brilliant ball player. So you need the Fabregas or the Cazorla to play next to Partey. But now Partey's contract's up and he's going to leave. Then we've got to replace him. And now we need the striker. Now we need the left winger. But 4 or 5 years ago, we had Alexis Sanchez, the left winger. You never got the striker. Once you lost the left winger, you bought the striker. But by the time you bought the striker, Ozil was fading. And round we go. We never complete the jigsaw puzzle. It's like having the last piece of the jigsaw and you're going to put it down and you pull one piece out and put it down. You go, yeah, man, I've finished. And you go, oh, no, that one's fell off. And this is why we don't win titles. It's why we don't win league titles. Because when you look at Man City, when they've won league titles, they had Mahrez, they had Grealish, they had Haaland, they had Sané, Sterling, Aguero. You never looked at Man City and went, I tell you what, mate, City are desperate for a striker and a left winger. You don't do that. You might look at City now and go, oh, they could do with a left winger. But there's never a desperation. With Arsenal, you're looking at us going, we are desperate for a left winger. We desperately need a striker. But yeah, that Aubameyang one, I had to look at that one. That's a bit of history there, man. Pull up the Oba video. Yo, listen, I can't pull it, I appreciate the super chat, but I got to be careful with that copyright. Rastamouse, Arteta hates flair players, prefers a donkey like Havertz. Who knows? Maybe he grew up on a farm, One for the archives, that's for sure, man. Aubameyang joining Arsenal was epic. Absolutely epic. People, I'm out of here. Over 2,250 of you locked in. Big up Max, bro. Hope you're well. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be back tomorrow. And I've got some short content coming out over the weekend as well. So look out for that. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, people. Take care. Enjoy your day. I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.